We're about to get the biggest and maybe final Legend and Flashback collections of MLB The Show 25, featuring no doubt the very best cards in all of the game. So let's talk about how you can prepare, make tons of stubs, and get ready for the brand new collections. Leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel, and let's go! This Friday comes the 8th inning program, brand new weekend classic, and of course the new Legend and Flashback collections. The first of which we've seen since the Jose Bautista Hall of Fame update a few weeks ago, and this card was insane. And so is how many cards you needed. You needed almost every card in the game at the time to get Jose Bautista. And realistically, I'm expecting sort of the same for this brand new collections. Note that it does say collection, so I do think there's multiple cards we're going to get, much like there's the Batista, Dick Allen, Billy Wagner, 399s. But as always, there's ways we can best prepare for all the vouchers you're going to need to complete whoever this collection is. Let me know who you want to see in the brand new collection. Maybe a Trout, maybe, I haven't been a pitcher on, maybe a Nolan Ryan. I'm not sure. We've gotten a lot of big cards. I kind of thought that Chipper Jones was going to be one of them. But anyway, there is ways that you can prepare for this. Obviously, we know if there is a card reward, that is a voucher. So, like Cal Raleigh, he is going to be a voucher from the former Home Run Derby collection. Same as Ethan Holiday, Adley Rutschman, Lance Berkman, all of these guys that were the head of a collection will maintain that voucher eligibility. There's just more vouchers, keep going on every added collection. Like Scott Rowland, there was 18 vouchers when he was the first Legend and Flashback collection, and that has ballooned all the way up to 28. And I only think it's getting higher. Big picture, something that you want to focus on here. Collections like this, Veteran Series. Now, obviously, they haven't updated this very recently because, well, there's not really much point for them to put out 87s and whatnot, and thus, for the Batista to get that voucher, 23 cards were needed. Well, you go ahead and look. There's 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. They're going to add one card to this collection in order to get the voucher, so that means you're going to want to get every card here. Now, there's always a chance that they're going to release one of these within the Cornerstone Evolution. They start with the 85 Diamond, lead up to a 99. It's possible. Even still, these cards are going to be quite scarce. So whether you're just looking to get the collection done or looking to invest, this is a good opportunity, just like we saw with the Nolan Ryan last time, because that card was needed. These cards are also going to have a lot of need if you need all of them. Now, this collection in particular is pretty much all free cards. It is all cards that you earn within programs, former XP pass like this Jose Bautista that you can't earn anymore. There's only one purchasable card, and that being Andy Pettitte. He's cheap already. Caveat here, he's going to continue to be cheap because he's a former BR reward. You can pick him in the multiplayer path. But you look at a collection like Breakout, where last time you needed 10 cards for the Batista voucher. Well, there is 11 cards. Same thing. You need all of them as it sits right now. In this case, there is cards like this Hank Greenberg, who was in the same pack as that Nolan Ryan, who exploded in price. And he's pretty cheap right now. He's just 9,000. And you never know for sure when they are going to re-release these packs, because they normally do, whether it be in like a Conquest map or a flash sale. Flash sales are always something to look forward to as well. If you're ever really upset about a price of a card that shouldn't be that price, wait for a flash sale. Usually they're going to include them in it. Those usually happen on Tuesday afternoons. You can access them on the app, on the game, usually until about 7 p.m. Eastern. They usually run for about 5 hours. So that Hank Greenberg is a really good example of someone that you might want to get, whether it's for investing or just getting so you don't have to buy him later. And there's cards like Jason Varitek, who is a former multiplayer reward, which you just cannot get him anymore. And I'm wondering, now that we get towards the end of the year, if they are going to re-release these, because if you don't have him, you just can't get this card. And thus, you're going to have to pay $50,000 for an 87, which obviously is not particularly good. There's a way better Jason Varitek out, pretty sure for cheaper. Yeah, like considerably cheaper, the Prime one. So that is something, again, to consider. Also, guys like Bryson Stott, he's a Diamond Quest reward. You might want to stack some Diamond Quest here and really reap the rewards, because that is a ton of stubs on the line. 40K, and I expect it to explode. Always look at the immediate impact. This is going to drop 3 p.m. Eastern, this update, and pretty much always the biggest market implications happen right away. Sell high. And that goes for any cards also, if they're sellable. Shane McClanahan, he's also a Diamond Quest reward. This Jonathan the Weiziga, this is one that I probably should pick up right now because he is pretty affordable. He's a former headliner, and headliners typically don't boom really because there's so many headliner packs to earn in the game. It's pretty easy to access them, but still, I would expect there to be stubs to be made. Absolutely, and this is pretty low risk at 7,900 for a card that is not going to be explicitly re-released. I mean, they're not just going to be like, hey, here's Jonathan the Weiziga. I mean, you still would have to pull the headliner pack and pull him as he's from a previous set. So that's something to consider. And the collections that are like that is the Veteran Series, like we talked about. It's the Breakout Series, the Rookie Series. That one, same way. You need 13 cards last time to get the voucher. There's 4, 8, 12, 14 currently. So again, unless they release another one here, you're going to need every card. And just taking a look here, Devin Williams is one that I know that you can buy. He was a former Weekend Classic reward, so might be interesting if you are carrying extras of him. Otherwise, I think it's a lot of collection cards here, so he's really the only sellable player as far as I can tell. And then Last Ride. Once again, it was Nolan Ryan last time, and it might be Nolan Ryan again. You needed 14 cards. Well, there's 14 cards, so you might see another boom on him potentially. I also think postseason has a pretty high probability to boom. Once again, you've got one of these cards, Sammy Sosa. He was same pack as Nolan Ryan, Hank Greenberg. There was 15 cards needed last time. Currently, there's 8, 12, 16, 17. Best case scenario, you can skip one. And there's a bunch of Diamond Quest cards, like Josh Young here. He's already going for nearly 50K. Might not be a bad idea to play a couple of Diamond Quests before Friday and then really reap the rewards before everybody rushes in and plays that map. Same could be said for Whitey Ford, who is in a Diamond Quest. Just things to think about. Standout Series is a little bit more expensive set I would also take a look at because this is almost all sellable cards, whether it be Lee Smith, Multiplayer Program Reward. You've got Evan Phillips, who is a headliner, Al Leiter, former World Series Reward, Springer World Series, Posada Chase Pack. I mean, you've got a lot of sellable cards on the market here, and 17 cards were needed last time. There is 12, 16... 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. So there's 20 cards. They're probably going to ask for at least 18, which would mean skip 2, maybe 19. I think this is, again, that and Contributor Series are two a little bit more high-value ones that you might want to take a look at. Here it's 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 34. So once again, you're looking at scarcity. They're not putting out extra cards here, and it makes all the ones out here that much more valuable. If you have them, if you have extra copies, I would definitely hold and plan to sell for Friday. Now, let's talk about the surrounding makeup. Things like Cornerstone. You're going to need every Cornerstone player. Ones that are, like, free, just play the game. They're always going to ask for all of them like this. So just get up to Starja, Webb, and Boggs, who, of course, were the 7th inning, and then they're going to release the 8th inning. So there's going to be 3 more. Just going to have to get ready and play those when it comes time. You also look at some of the old Team Affinity like Jolt. This is the first time I would imagine that they're going to ask for all of them. They've wanted 5 increasing in every iteration. I think this time they're going to ask for all 30. So if you don't have all Jolt done, you're not going to be able to get the new collection cards, at least not right away. And you look at the other Team Affinities, we had the Color Storm, for example. Last time it was 20. They might go up to 30, but at least 25 is what you could expect. Also taking a look at the Neon, the brand new Team Affinity that came out. I'm obviously not that well set up. I have just, let me see, got 12. Got some work to do. I don't think they're going to ask for all of them by any means. I do not think that Brian Reynolds is going to be like the voucher. I think more than likely 15, I think, would be reasonable. I don't think you're going to need to have all of them done, but it doesn't hurt if you do. This is always an interesting one, the 20th anniversary. Of course, these cards have been out since the very beginning of the game, and that Honus Wagner has stood as the voucher. Now, they typically re-release these cards. They put out a Packet of Conquest map last time. They always fluctuate on price. Right now, that's a lot to pay for an 85 Kershaw, considering the better one's free. But you see the market on them is always, it was down because obviously you could pick them for free, and then it goes way up. So if you were holding them, that's great because Kershaw's 34, Mauer's 30. I mean, these cards go for a bunch, obviously. This is once again something I would hold off on if you don't have them all already. I would definitely just wait for them to re-release them because it will more than likely happen. You don't want to pay that price for these. I wouldn't really invest on them. That's a lot to invest in one card because they could just release that pack on that given day. But that's what to really expect for things. Now, the high-value collections, always you can plan on skipping one collection. That's how it's been all year and every previous year. Depends. I don't know what your team looks like. Not your mom. I do think Topps now in Spotlight are two that people always struggle with, at least to begin the new collection, because they want like nearly all the cards. It is not skipping many, and unless you've like played every program and you're buying these cards consistently, the ones that appear in the pack, it probably just is going to be a tough one to do. I would wait. That's typically what I recommend for the Topps now in the Spotlight because, well, we know they're going to release more and they're going to be free. So that I might hold off on. The big ones I would be concerned about. The big ones I would be concerned about is All-Star. It's always been one of the more expensive ones. Awards, Milestone, and then obviously any of these. They range from being pretty expensive to pretty cheap. I mean, you'll even see like the Moonshot one with Byron Buxton here. I mean, these cards have boomed. Like the Bo Bichette, like he's 100K for a 91. It's kind of crazy. Even the Jock Peterson is like 20K. These cards are kind of expensive. The Diamond Quest cards are like 40K as well. And you can only skip one voucher, so you got to get a lot of leads done, which is really what holds a lot of people back completing collections to get another collection done. It might be really tough. Again, it will be very tough for this brand new collection. And these only make it harder. Again, awards, it's tough to say. I mean, there's 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36 cards. Obviously, they've released a piss ton since the last collection, so it's tough to say how many you're going to need, really. If I had to throw a number out there, I'd say like 30 would be somewhat realistic because they're also probably planning on releasing more award series cards between now and, like the end of the game, which this is probably the last big collection, I would surmise, because then we've got postseason, got the Extreme program, we've got Finest in November. We're reaching the end. I mean, we're already in the end game of MLB The Show, truly. Milestone, same thing. They had 8 as the requirement last time. Well, this is 8 in those 2 rows, 12, 16, 20, 24. Tough to say exactly, but you're definitely going to have to pay out. This will be a very, very difficult collection to complete, but hopefully this should kind of help you prepare. Now, obviously, to get any of this stuff done, you're going to need stubs. The same things I always recommend. Conquest is great for stubs, particularly that MLB draft map. You're guaranteed 15,000 stubs every time you complete it. There's 5 games to play. You get the draft pack, 3 rounds. Each card sells for at least $5K, with the chance of pulling the big ones like Eli Willits, the #1 pick, 99. Kate Anderson, Tyler Bremner. There's another guy there too. I can't remember him, but you probably know who I'm talking about. It is good, at least 15K that you're going to get there. Highly would recommend that, and that's a pretty easy way of going about things. Diamond Quest obviously is not for everybody, but like we talked about, there's a ton of stubs to be made by playing. Pretty much any given map, you're going to have these cards going for around 40,000 stubs, like we showed with that Whitey Ford, for example. So if you could go throughout the map, play the whole thing, you probably can get both cards at a relatively, and again, I say relatively because it is not guaranteed, but there's a good chance that you could play on, I don't know, All-Star, Hall of Fame, and probably have like a 70% odds of getting the card, which is pretty solid. That and sell, baby, sell. You've got so many cards that you probably haven't realized, probably a lot of early game commons that have grown to be bronzes and silvers that you just have tons and tons of duplicates of. Quit being lazy, go throughout and sell them. I speak for myself. I definitely have some more of that to do. You got a lot of stubs sitting in the binder. That definitely could help propel you, start making some investments, start getting these cards before they balloon up on Friday for the big collection. That's how I'm planning. That's how I'm preparing for what probably will be the final big Legend and Flashback collections of MLB 25. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Once again, let me know who you want to see as the big collection bosses this time around. Thank you so much for watching this one, and I'll see you on Friday.